welcome back. Today I just felt like sitting down and chatting with you guys while I did my makeup. So today I'm going to be sharing my current everyday spring makeup look. It has been forever since I've done one of these videos and showed you guys like how I'm currently doing my foundation and everything like that. So I'm really excited to be filming this video today. I just want to jump straight into it, but before we do get started, everything will be linked in the description box as always. But let's get into the makeup. So lately, for the most part, I haven't actually been using a face primer. I will occasionally, but on most days, I just use a moisturizer that's going to prep my skin really well for makeup. So today I use the IT Cosmetics Secret Sauce. I've really been liking this. It makes my skin very glowy and very smooth. And then I just go straight in with my IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I mentioned that this is all I've been using for the past few months. I am just obsessed with it. And right now I have like the tiniest little inkling of self-tan left on my skin. Like, I don't know if you can see on camera, but my face is a little bit lighter than my chest. So I'm going to mix together the shades Fair and Light, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dot that on. My skin has been looking pretty good lately. In case you missed it, I did get a laser treatment for acne scarring recently. I did like a full vlog on that. I feel like a lot of people might not have clicked on that video because they were expecting it to be something really expensive naturally, because that's definitely what we think of when we think of laser treatments, but it was actually a really affordable treatment. So if you missed that video, it'll be linked in the usual places, but I'm just going in with my NYX foundation blender and blending this in. I am obsessed with this sponge. It's seriously fantastic. It's like a little bit more dense than like the Beauty Blender or the L'Oreal sponge, but it's not too dense to the point where it like doesn't conform to your face. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever used like a really dense sponge and it kind of feels like you're like hitting yourself in the face. This is like the perfect balance of just dense enough where it gives you really great coverage and doesn't absorb too much product, but it still like moves with the contours of your face, if that makes sense. I feel like I'd gotten into the habit of really just rushing my foundation application. So recently, I've really just been trying to take my time with it, and I really go over my face a lot. You guys, I'm literally wearing like an old pajama shirt right now. I was like, I could put on a cute shirt, but I was like, I'm just gonna keep it real. This is like what I look like when I'm doing my makeup every day. So then something that I've started doing just over the past little while or so, and I totally stole this from Jaclyn Hill's most recent makeup tutorial and like get ready with me video, but I take like a hydrating setting spray. This is the Pixi Glow Mist, and this does have argan oil in it, so I have to shake it. But I've just been like spritzing my sponge a little bit, and then I've just been kind of going back over my CC cream with it. It's a little bit extra, and like honestly, I don't really know how much it does because I do go in and set with powder after, and it looks a little bit crazy right now. It's like really dewy to start off with, but I just really like how it feels, and I feel like it does help my makeup look a little bit more natural. And then I basically just let that dry. I find if I actually dampen my sponge with a hydrating setting spray, I end up losing a bit of the coverage because this is a little bit oilier. So I like using this method where I just go over my CC cream with the hydrating setting spray after. So lately I have been mixing together my two favorite concealers. I know this is a little bit extra, but this routine today is kind of my version of like my full glam makeup look. First, I just go in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. That's in the shade Light, so it's not like super highlighting. So then I go in with a little bit of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Chantilly, and I just add like a few little dabs of this in those concealed areas just to brighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going back in with the NYX Foundation Blender. The sponge does have like a really great flat edge that comes to a very nice small point, so it is perfect for under eye concealer. And I'm just really pressing that into the skin, and then I also bring it up onto my lids. And I will also use the Too Faced concealer to spot conceal if I need it, but I don't really feel like I need any additional coverage today. I don't really have any breakouts or anything at the moment. Now I do try to set my under eyes with powder pretty much immediately because I am very prone to creasing. So I've been using the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in the shade Ghost. I am obsessed with this. It is a translucent powder, but because it is meant for baking specifically, it is really highlighting. I don't know if you guys have ever tried using just like any old translucent powder over top of your concealer, but sometimes they can kind of take away the brightening highlighted effect. And I don't actually use it to bake, I just use it to set my eye area like normal. I did try baking for like a hot minute there, but it's just not for me. Like, I don't know, no matter what I do, it just ends up looking so like crusty and just gross under my eyes. But I do take a fairly generous amount of this powder. I find it works best that way because it is meant for baking. So I do load it on generously, but I don't actually bake. Look how much more flattering that is when you take away that shine under the eye. It seriously just makes everything look so much smoother. You guys can see when I get rid of that shine, this line that I have in here is so much less noticeable. Like on this side, it stands out so much because that shine and that kind of glowy finish really brings attention to that. when you set it, it's almost like it disappears, which is definitely what I want. It's like DIY under eye filler. And lately I've also been setting right here with it right away too, because I've been creasing so bad in here. I always feel like my eye area looks a little bit crazy on camera after I've set it. So if it looks really ultra bright on camera, don't worry, everything comes together in the end. So then what I do is I prime my eyelids. You guys know I always do this before I fill in my eyebrows. So I'm just taking my NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base and just applying this to my lids. Then I blend that out with my ring finger, and I also just bring kind of the excess up into my eyebrows. But I seriously can't do my makeup without bringing a little bit of my eyeshadow primer into my brows. I've been doing that for so many years. But Benefit recently sent me their Bravo Conditioning Brow Primer. So just to kind of try this out, I have been using just like a little bit of this. I haven't been trying it for long enough to see if it like really conditions my brows. So then I'm going in with my favorite NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I just start off by spooling out my brows. You can see from the way that they're kind of sticking up when I am combing through them with my spoolie that Benefit Brow Primer kind of acts like a brow wax or brow gel. I don't know why, but I'm just obsessed with like brushing my eyebrows straight up and then leaving them like that. I feel like I look like Count Olaf or something. So I don't think I'm going to show every little detail of how I do my brows just because it is the part of my makeup that is the most time consuming, but I have been seeing some comments recently from you guys saying you want to know how I fill in my brows. It really hasn't changed from any of my past routines. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys the technique that I use. So basically I just start off by kind of underlining my eyebrow, and then I obviously don't have that much of a tail to work with, so I just extend that out to kind of create my own tail. And I'm really just following the natural shape of my brow when I'm doing this. I'm obviously trying to get them as close as possible, but like I recently said, I am a little bit sloppy when I first fill in my brows because I do clean them up with concealer, so I'm never like super concerned that they're gonna look identical to start. I mean, my brows aren't 100% identical to start with, so we're just doing the best we can. Then I found one of the most important steps when I'm doing my brows is to go right in with my spoolie before I do anything else, and I just blend out this line and kind of brush the product upwards. What I used to do is I would do that underline and then I would go straight in and do the top line of my brows, but I found when I blend this out right away, there's just something about it where I can see how that product has already been dispersed, that when I go in to do like the top line of my brow and the tail, I find I just get like a slightly softer, more natural appearance. I do like a nice bold brow, but when I can like already see how much product I already have, it just helps me make my brows a little bit softer. Hopefully that makes sense. So I just really try and blend that line through the rest of my brow, mostly just focusing on where I actually have brow hairs. And so when it comes to outlining the top, I start at my arch, and at the arch I do make my brow a little bit thicker, and then I just kind of like pull it into the front here, and I never bring the top line right to the front. I kind of leave this area blank. I like how I said I wasn't going to show my entire brow process in this video, but I pretty much am. Then I just kind of connect that down to the tail, and I usually kind of like really over exaggerate the tail and bring it out further than I actually wear my brows to start, and then I clean that up with concealer. And I do take the pencil and fully fill in the tail of my brow. Once again, I just don't actually really have any brow hairs there to work with. So, and then I go in with my NYX Above and Beyond concealer on my little Wayne Goss number 8 brush, and I basically just sculpt that lower edge. Just look at it like you're an actual sculptor, you know, you have a block of marble, aka your eyebrow, and you're just carving out the parts that you don't want to be there till you have the shape that you actually want. I'm gonna quickly just finish this up off camera, and then I'll show you guys how I blend it out and finish up my brows. So once I've got kind of the rough shape that I want, I just take this brush, this is the Sigma P34, and I just go in and I just blend out that concealer. I did bring it up around kind of like the top of the tail of my brow. I don't always do that, it just kind of depends on like how my eyebrows are turning out that day. I honestly find it super hard to do my brows on camera. Honestly, for the longest time, I just got like so much hate on my eyebrows and like so many negative comments about them. So like I kind of just don't really talk about my brows that much. Like my brows have definitely evolved a lot, don't get me wrong, they're definitely a lot better than they used to be. I think I'm just like minorly scarred from the comments I used to get though, and I'm like, people hate my eyebrows. But it's literally like, who even cares? If I love them, doesn't really matter. And then I just go ahead and brush through them again with the spoolie, and then as kind of a finishing touch, I just take the pencil once again and I just do like the lightest, faintest little hair-like strokes along the front of my brow for a more natural look. And that's more or less the shape I like to have with my brows. They turn out a little bit differently every single day, I'm not gonna lie, but then Now that I have that concealer around my brows, I do go in and set my eyelids. This just ensures that all the shadow I place on top of them will blend out smoothly. And I do apply like a tinted brow gel, but I do it as kind of almost one of my last steps before I apply mascara, because I like to apply my setting spray before I do my brow gel and mascara. I'll usually take the powder on a smaller brush too and get like right in there to really make sure that concealer is set. So now I'm going to set my face. Right now I've just been testing out the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores setting powder and I really like it. I like to set my face after my brows, once again, just because I like to have all of my cream or liquid products on my face first before I really go in with any powder, with the exception being right under my eyes. So next I'm going to be doing my eyeshadow, and lately I've been using the ColourPop Element of Surprise palette. I got this in my April BOXYCHARM, which by the way I unboxed on my Instagram stories. Still a highlighted story on my profile if you want to watch it, but I am obsessed with this palette. I've been using it non-stop since I got it, and a few of you guys have seen the look I've been wearing with it in my recent videos, and a few of you guys have been asking to see how I did the eye look, so I thought it'd be perfect to include because I can't get enough of this palette. So I'm going to start off by taking the shade Go With The Flow. It's just a matte transition, and I'm going to buff and blend that into my crease. I had to stop filming for a second because FedEx knocked on my door, and you guys, look at what Tarte sent me. Oh, it's so pretty. I could cry. I don't actually own Tartelette in Bloom. I own Tartelette and Tartelette Toasted, but I don't have this one, and I'm just so happy. Thank you, Tarte. It's totally random, but that just made my day. One thing I want to talk to you guys about, I want to start doing more like one brand tutorial / first impression videos. So if there are any brands you guys want to see, please leave them in the comments down below. I've already got a few planned out that I'm really excited for, because I've done a video like that on WELL.CA and also Milk makeup in the past, and you guys have really seemed to enjoy them. So I'm really excited to start doing more of those on my channel, and I hope you guys are too. I'm gonna take that same shade and just apply that to my lower lash line. Then I'm going in with this shade here, which is called Sea Stars. It's just kind of like a neutral matte brown, and I'm using the SL Miss Glam brush. This is the L34. I also got this in BOXYCHARM. And I'm gonna add that to my crease just to make the crease and overall vibe of this look a little bit more neutral. I guess the shade is still pretty warm, but just more of like a brown element rather than like straight up like pinky orange. As always, just going in between steps and blending everything out with my Sigma E40. And I'm also going to add a little bit of that shadow to my lower lash line as well. Just with a pencil brush, I'm applying it a little bit more precisely, right kind of flush with my lower lashes. Then I'm going in with Too Faced Glitter Glue. I just talked about this and why I use it in my Holy Grail products I never talk about video, but I'm just taking a little bit of this on my ring finger and just dabbing this on my lid, just so that lilac shade I'm about to go in with really adheres and really pops. You do have to be careful when using this to get a really even application, because if you have like one little glob of it in one area, the shadow's obviously really going to stick to that spot, and it ends up being a little bit of a mess. So now once again, I'm going in with the lilac shade Subdue on the SL Miss Glam P15, also from my BOXYCHARM. I was so excited to see SL Miss Glam in BOXYCHARM because first of all, they're Canadian, and second of all, I mean, their brushes are just so cute. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's two little like rhinestones on the ferrule. Then I'm just packing this shade right onto my lid. It is so pretty, you guys. It's got kind of like a slight blue duochromatic shimmer in it, so it adds so much dimension and it's so pretty, and I really do bring this kind of up into my crease just to kind of tone down that crease shade. I am obsessed with this color. Lately, I feel like I've just kind of fallen into this trap where I'm overthinking everything that I do, and that's just kind of like how I am. Like I'm not like a super analytical person because I'm not really a very logical person, but I do really overanalyze like everything in my life, like every situation, every conversation, everything I do, honestly, and I feel like I really need to get out of that and just start doing what I enjoy again, because I've been so hung up on, you know, like my views and things in my personal life too, but mostly just talking about like in relation to YouTube, how I've just been overthinking absolutely everything. I don't know, am I even making sense right now? I'm just such an easily stressed out person. I get really hung up on like small details, and I need to just like learn to take a breath and just like relax and let the little things go and just like focus on being happy. I like how I just went from like, yay, pretty eyeshadow to like, hi, I'm crazy. Just saying what's on my mind. I'm gonna also take that and kind of pop this, not right on the inner corner. Ooh. Got a little bit too much of that in my eye. Just kind of in like the center of my lower lash line here, because I do want to go in with an inner highlight as well. I'm going to blend out my lower lash line with the brush that I used to set my eye area. And then I'm just going to go in with this vibrant pink shade called Opulent on another crease brush, and I'm just going to pop the tiniest little bit of this onto my outer corner and the outer part of my crease. I love a hot pink shadow, you guys, just for like a subtle pop of pink like this in the crease. I think it's so pretty, especially at this time of year. Then finally, I'm going to go into this light pink shade here called Feels, and I wet my brush with a little bit of setting spray, and I'm just going to pop this right into the inner corner. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this shade also has like a really slight lavender duochromatic effect to it, so it ties in really well. Of course, that's not surprising since it's from the same palette. So I'm going to quickly clean up the edges of my shadow off camera. Here is just a really quick close-up of what the eyeshadow looks like. So then I'm going to take my favorite Bali Sands bronzer from Becca. That was a lot of bees. And I'm just going to take this on an angled cheek brush, and I basically just sweep a little bit of this onto my cheeks. I've been doing very minimal bronzing lately. It's a big deal for me because honestly I like never change up the way I do my cheeks, and I know some people get annoyed with that, but I just know what works for my face. Then I'm going to go in with my Anastasia contour powder. On my last video someone did confirm that this shade Fawn has been discontinued, which like why Anastasia, why? But apparently Ash Brown is the closest like dupe that they offer. If you are someone who's looking for the same shade as me, like you have a similar skin tone, I guess check out Ash Brown. I'll have to like swatch it one day in Sephora. Do they carry them in stores in Sephora? I don't even know if they do. I just do it on the hollows of my cheeks, just like the tiniest little bit on my forehead, under my bottom lip to make it look a little bit fuller, and then just a little bit around my chin and jaw, and then I just blend that out with a big fluffy powder brush. Then for blush, I'm using this Benefit blush bar, and I'm going to be taking their newest blush, which is called Gold Rush. It's right there. It reminds me a lot of my favorite Rockateur, but it's just like a little bit softer. It's got a little bit more like a golden shimmer to it, and it smells fantastic. Like all of the Benefit powders smell really good. If you've tried any of them, then you know, but this one smells like exceptionally delicious. Then for highlight, I've been feeling super extra lately, and I've been mixing two highlight shades together. So first I'm going in with Stila Transcendence. This is from a holiday palette from a couple years ago, but they do sell it individually, so I'll have it linked down below. Apparently they've made the formula even better, because these are kind of like a weird like squishy putty jelly kind of highlight. And I'm starting off by applying that because this is kind of like a lavender highlight. Can you guys see that? Might be a little bit matchy-matchy for some, but I love a monochromatic makeup look, and I love when the eyes and cheeks and lips and everything just tie together. This is so pretty. It gives such like a unique ethereal kind of glow. And then I've been taking this Wet n Wild highlighting palette and using this shade here. It's just like a pale pearly shimmery pink, and I just apply that like a little like more to just like the very high points of my face, because this highlight in particular from Wet n Wild, it can be like a little bit too shimmery, and I obviously don't want to draw any attention to texture. So I try to go a little bit lighter with this one, and then I do blend it all out once again. Oh, and I almost forgot I want to pop a little bit of that onto my brow bone. Now that I have all of my powder products on, I am going to go in with setting spray before I do my brow gel, lashes, and lips. So I've been using the Kiss Pro Touch Makeup Setting Spray. This is my favorite setting spray ever, you guys. It's like the perfect balance of locking your makeup in place all day, but also taking away the powdery finish, and it's drugstore, which is even better. It's from London Drugs. So I'm just going to liberally spritz this all over my face and just fan that until it is dry. That seriously feels so nice and so refreshing right now. So then I'm going to take WELL.CA Boy Brow. I've been alternating between this and the newly reformulated Benefit Gimme Brow Plus. I really like them both. They give a similar effect. And I actually wipe the excess off the wand of this before I apply it, so I can really just kind of like flick through the brows very liberally and not get any like globs of product. Once again, I've really been focusing on like brushing the brow hairs upwards so my brows appear slightly more feathery. This is one of my favorite steps because I feel like it just makes my brows look so much better. Just takes them to the next level. Brow gel is like always a must because it just really redefines all those individual hairs, especially after you've just been coating them with any type of brow product. Even if you're not someone who needs a lot of hold from a brow gel, if you're not using one, you should definitely try it out and see the difference that it makes. Then I'm going to pop a little bit of nude liner into my waterline. This is just the Annabelle Waterline Eyeliner. I'm not going to lie, I don't love this one, but I'm out of my favorite ColourPop Honey Dude liner. So I'm just kind of using this in the meantime. It goes on well, but it just doesn't last like the ColourPop one does. I'm just gonna quickly curl my lashes, but I did determine that the reason I was feeling so crappy for like 2 weeks was just really bad allergies, like just from talking to other people and hearing other people's experiences. It seems like allergies just hit everyone really hard this year, especially here in Canada, because our weather went from like straight up winter to basically summer now. And I think because I went from snow here to like full-on green grass, pollen everywhere in the mountains, like at my family's cabin, just seemed to really knock me on my ass, I'm not going to lie. Then I'm using Bad Gal Bang from Benefit. And I did just do a video comparing this mascara to Roller Lash and like trying this out for the first time, and I love it. I've been using it non-stop since, and I've found that for the best results you really just want to do like the lightest coat possible of this mascara. Like literally that's it, and I'm all about that because I love spending like no time on my lashes, honestly. You guys, I think I like it more than Roller Lash. If you're someone who really likes to like layer on the mascara and do multiple coats, then I wouldn't recommend this because it honestly looks best when you just do like one ultra thin coat. My current lip routine is just like so basic and so me, like just my holy grail products. Start off with Bite number 20 lip pencil and just quickly line my lips. Then I take my trusty Clinique Beige Pop. And then just for that extra little touch, I take the Becca Liquid Crystal Gloss in Opal and Jade. This is kind of like a light lavender with like a blue and green shift to it. So it kind of ties in with like the eyes and the highlight with that little hint of lavender and that duochromatic effect. So this is the finished look, you guys. Obviously, I've really been loving this look. That's why I've been doing it like pretty much every single day. Just got really nice glowy skin, like a fun subtle pop of color on the eyes, kind of a unique highlight, and a glossy lip. Definitely really what I'm into at the moment, but I'm not going to lie, I typically only do this full lip when I'm going to be filming or when I'm like specifically going out, and sometimes not even then. So I'm gonna show you guys what I actually do with my lips most commonly. So I'm just removing my lipstick with a little bit of my micellar water. Then I lightly powder my lips just to mute my natural color a little bit. And then I take a tinted lip balm. Lately I've been using the IT Cosmetics Je ne sais quoi lip treatment in Rose, and I just really lightly apply this to my lips. Just like a little bit of pink. I know you guys probably might think it's a little bit too simple for the eye look, but just for like my boring, average, everyday life, this works a lot better for me than like a gloss and like something I have to reapply, because this wears off a lot nicer. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to wrap up this video. I know it's been a long one because I was in a very chatty mood today, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. It seriously helps me out. And go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at SariReanna on both. And hit that subscribe button down below if you're new to my channel. Oh, and once again, everything I mentioned today is linked down below, so don't forget to check the description box. But thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, guys!